All right.
So this week we're going to talk about Grenache. Grenache. And,
Grenache.
it's delicious. I fucking love it.
Yeah. Yep.
So a lot of, especially like old world ones, well, I guess in France, it's hard to find wines that are 100% Grenache. Because typically you're going to find them, that's like generally speaking in the Rhone. You see like Côte de Rhone, that's going to be like dominant Grenache, but like the one I have is today is it's like 70 Grenache, 20 Syrah, 10% Mourvedre. They call them GSM blends.
Yeah.
And
Mine is 55% Grenache, 15% Cinsault, 15% Syrah, 10% Carignan, and 5% Mourvedre.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's all mixed up.
All mixed in there. Yeah, so, all right. I don't even know. This is one of these where, like, I don't even know
where to properly start.
Where to properly start in terms of reading the label. Like, it says Domaine Grand Veneux. Les Champons Verts, Côte de Rhone, and then Alain Jaune. Like, so the only thing that I know what it means is Côte de Rhone. Like, I don't know. Like, I assume Domaine Grand Veneux is the producer, but then what's Alain Jaune? Is that like the larger company that owns that producer? Like, I don't know.
I don't know. Mine has something on that. Something similar on that, where it's Chateau de Montfaucon. And then below that it says Baron Louis. Or Baron Louis.
Okay.
Baron Louis.
Okay, so Baron Louis.
Baron Louis.
On here. Oh, it looks like the producer, like those two names, it just says like the domain name first, and then parentheses it says the Alain Jaune. So I guess they're whatever. Interchangeable, maybe changed hands or something. Whatever. But the fact that the main thing on this label, the reason I got it was because it said Côte de Rhone on it, and it was like, I don't know, like $17, $16 or something. And you can find a lot of really good bottles of wine, really good values, Côte de Rhones. But also just from Southern Rhone in general. But like I know Kermit Lynch has one. Their Kermit Lynch's Côte de Rhone, it's like, I don't know, $15 or something, and that is so good.
Yeah.
Maybe find that, buy it. I don't know if they distribute to Oregon or whatever. It's just like, it says Kermit Lynch and then Côte de Rhone on it. I guess that's it.
That's awesome.
So
that's smart of them. Yeah. So mine is from the sub AOC Larac, which I'm trying to look up. I'm trying to look that up right now.
Oh yeah, I do have a second bottle of wine here that I opened like a week ago or something. Rasteau, Rasteau, which is an appellation. Yeah, smaller. This is also 70 Grenache, 20 Syrah, 10 Mourvedre. And I got it a week ago. It was like around the same price. Probably less. I think it was maybe like 12. And super delicious, but it's not really like it's not like good anymore. But I wanted to like do these side by side to make the differences more pronounced, so people know like how to articulate sort of which what is good or what isn't good. Right? We can do more of that later.
Yeah.
But so I guess I'll talk about smelling the one that does smell good. The Côte de Rhone.
The current one.
Yeah.
So Côte de Rhone, just off the bat, for orientation, it's the wine region in France along the Rhone River. So Côte de Rhone is like the slopes of the Rhone, basically. So it's the descending valley hills against the main river's the Rhone, but then there are a bunch of tributaries that the different sub-AOCs sort of cluster around and are defined by apparently so the one that you have, you said it was from very near Châteauneuf-du-Pape?
No.
Okay.
No.
Perfect.
No, I wish it was. That'd be pretty sweet. It's I thought I was getting the Châteauneuf, but then they were all like $40. And I was like, I don't want to fucking do that.
So
Yeah, I'll just spell you the name. The domain is domain Grand, Grand,
Mm-hmm.
and then Veneur.
Veneur.
Yeah, domain Grand Veneur. Veneur.
Domain Grand Veneur.
And
Does it say? Oh yeah.
And it's the Cote Run. It's delicious. It's Rhone Valley. It's southeastern France.
Yeah.
It's like the Florida of France. No, I don't know. I don't think it is. Maybe
Florida of France.
That'd be terrible to be described as the Florida of anywhere.
I mean,
man,
imagine being the Florida of Florida.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Was that the Panhandle?
Yeah, I guess it would be. Yeah, Florida of Florida would be what? I don't know. Ocean City.
Tallahassee's on the. Oh yeah.
Yeah, but Tallahassee's not. Well, actually, no. I think Tallahassee's in the Is the top part of Florida the Panhandle? Yeah.
Yeah. It's like the top left.
Yeah.
Or I guess the northwestern part.
Tallahassee's right smack.
Yeah. It's in the Panhandle. Yeah. It's not like deep Panhandle. It's not like Pensacola. I'm looking on a map now. I don't even know where the fuck Pensacola was, if you ask me. But near Mobile. But
oh no. So
anyway, this is very important.
Yeah. Your wine.
Yep.
So Alain Gelme, the Domaine Grand Veneur, is a Chateauneuf du Pape. Yep. It's from that sub AOC.
Oh, from that. Yeah.
And then they make a Domaine du Clos de Sixte, which is from the same AOC as the one I'm drinking from Larac.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So yeah, do you want to talk about why? It's because it's it's like similar anywhere, right? If you like why? Okay, so it's in Chateauneuf du Pape. Why does it say Côte de Rhône on it?
So Côte de Rhône encompasses Chateauneuf du Pape along with Larac and several other sub categorizations. So it's like how in Burgundy, you can say Burgundy and then under that Côte de Nuit, or you can say Côte de Nuit and then under that a specific village, because in Burgundy they go down to like village sizes, and the same is true I think in parts of the Côte de Rhône, but
yeah, definitely
Côte de Rhône encompasses Côte de Rhône encompasses, well, I think everything as a general area, and then so like I think you could have a Côte de Rhône village from any of them, but then they all pare down to being like more and more specific, and then you get into like the Chateauneuf du Papes that are like really expensive and like, very.
I wonder if this is me totally bullshitting. I wonder if Côte de Rhône village is like fruit that's from. You have some fruit from, so like Gigondas and Vaccaras and most places, those are all villages within Southern Rhône. So I wonder if like Côte de Rhône or Côte de Rhône village is like a blend of fruit from those different villages. Might be.
I think that is like, I think that's acceptable. Yeah.
Okay.
I'd have to.
It's a somewhat decent. Even if you said that with enough confidence, I think anybody would kind of go, "Oh, that makes sense."
Yeah, I believe that.
But given my confidence, I'm just gonna buy that shit. Not in a million years.
Yeah. Well, I buy it.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you do. You're also biased because
Yeah.
Because you're a sucker for my sweet eyes.
I am indeed.
Oh yeah.
But like the wine laws describing like that stuff, like whether or not you can do that, is all like, that's like WSET3 type stuff. That's like you go pay $1,200 and learn all of it, and then you impress people at your job with it. So like,
right.
I mean,
or you like teach yourself all the stuff, and like hypothetically, and like whatever, about a month from scratch, and then you take the test, and then you pass it, even though people who like you work with. Not all of them, but just like one, let's say like you're not gonna, you can't do it, you're not gonna do it.
Yeah.
But then after the fact, they're like, no, like you can, no, like I believe in you the whole time, like that kind of thing. So I mean, yeah. So it's one of those two.
I mean, it's complicated because the scenario you described would almost invalidate the scenario I described. It would suggest that like that is complete hog's wallop. Codswallop?
Right.
Hogswoggle? Hornswoggle?
Right. Ooh, horn swallow.
Hornswallow. There it is.
My horn.
Yeah.
Right? But then that might even say like, hey, certifications don't mean anything, and you're like, no, because if we do that, then society crumbles. So no, so certifications are everything, and let's just all wear a brave face.
Yeah. Okay, so this is interesting. The Côte d'Aron Village is an established AOC within Côte d'Aron. Originally 5 communes: Caron, Gigondas, Chusclan, Laudun, and Saint-Maurice-sur-Aigues.
Nailed it. Nailed it.
And then Vacara was accepted in 1955, and then 2 years after that, Vinsobres. Apparently the inspiration was Beaujolais, like the inspiration.
I was gonna say because Beaujolais, like that sounds like a bit like Beaujolais. But... See, suppose one were to study for a test like that, and suppose they knew all that information, say back in August. Probably by about now, they would have forgotten almost all of it.
Yeah.
You know? But, nice. It's almost as if certifications don't mean a thing, and it's just a scam to make money.
Yeah.
It's like everybody else patting each other on the back, when meanwhile everybody knows it doesn't mean anything.
I mean, it's supposed to help you with your resume, but we all know that the only way you actually get jobs in this world is nepotism, so...
Yeah. Yep. Well, at least there's that comforting thought.
Hey, you gotta have something to hang on to in this crazy world.
Oh yeah. Oh my god, dude. There's so many people I know. I tell them like, oh man, I've been looking for a fucking job for like, for a while, and they're like, oh, like how are you applying? And I'm like, I just apply on the website. They're like, oh, you're never gonna get a job like that. Like there's a whole bunch of companies where unless unless you're recommended by somebody who works there, you're not even going to get an interview.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Anyway, so Grenache, it's delicious. So most things that take Côte d'Aron, like a hard and fast rule here. Southern Rhone, Châteauneuf-du-Pape, Côte d'Aron. Anything like Gigondas, Vacaras. Which other ones? Rostow, Lirac, all those, they're going to be Grenache dominant.
Yeah.
They're not going to be 100% Grenache necessarily, but they will be heavy on Grenache. Yeah. And then the Northern Rhone Valley, which we'll do later on, is where Syrah is dominant. And then Mourvedre is sort of like more, if you go further south from Southern Rhone, you get to Bandol, and that's where like Mourvedre is dominant. But the Grenache, Syrah, Mourvedre are like the 3 main grapes in the Rhone Valley in Provence, which is below it, right on the coast. So what are some things that you really like about Grenache that you don't find in other grape varieties, or just that you like in general, and afterwards things you don't find in other grape varieties?
I really appreciate how just how direct it is. Like it's just it's a very clear, and like this sounds like a knock on it, but it's really not. Like it's uncomplicated. Like it's just
I can see that. Yeah,
you get this balance of fruit and acid and structure that's all very straightforward, and it's not entirely subtle, but it's also very, very like resonant. It's resonant and just enjoyable. But you don't have to think too hard about it. Because it has a good range in the middle where it can like pull itself off. Like it doesn't need to be, it doesn't get unwieldy if it's like a little extra acidic or more fruitful or whatever. Like it can express across the range that it has. And then when it gets outside of that, like it gets a little weird and like maybe not as pleasant. But it's got this very solid window that's very straightforward and just very like, yeah, this is really good.
Just want to rub it all over my body.
I want to rub it all over my body. Sorry, someone's shooting a gun. The dog.
Do you want to pause this?
No.
Maybe concerned.
No, the dogs. I think she just wants to come in. 1 sec.
They're shooting a gun at you.
What?
Nice. They're not shooting the gun at you, are they?
Oh no.
Are you still recording?
Yeah, I just walked away from my microphone. All right, I'm back now.
Okay,
One
cool.
second. I'm gonna go let.
You're back? Sweet.
Yeah.
Listen, get the fuck out of here. What the fuck are you doing? Jesus fucking Christ, stop it. I'm gonna have to edit all this fucking shit out now.
I thought you didn't want a cookie.
I don't want a cookie.
Oh. You're eating it.
Stop it, man. Fucking get the fuck out of here. Jesus fucking Christ. You're the worst person I know.
This is the best episode we've recorded so
I've
far.
said that to her like 6 times the past 2 days.
Oh man.
You're the worst person that I know.
That's brutal, man.
I love you.
I mean, she's not. No, you don't. This is the farthest thing from love.
Oh.
Woo!
Pour myself more wine.
Anyway.
I really hope that person's not shooting at me.
I hope they're not shooting at you.
What the fuck?
Alright.
Okay, we really can't edit any of that out. It's all too good.
We shouldn't.
No.
Anyway. Damn it, now I can taste this Thin Mint. It's my fucking teeth. Fuck. Alright. Anyway.
Okay, so,
Montezuma's Revenge. I assume that's what that is.
Okay.
Exactly
Okay, so this is, it's like, it's a little bit like,
What?
Who was the inventor of the Thin Mint?
Montezuma?
Alright, yeah, I seem to remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. You know.
Well, it's like how Dwayne The Rock Johnson invented trefoils.
He did.
Yeah.
He did. You know? Anytime, as soon as you said Dwayne, I was like, it's gotta be. There's nothing else can come after that. Imagine just being like Dwayne, like Stevens. Dwayne Stevens. Like, no one respects you. They're like, yo, you know who I ran into the other day? I ran into Dwayne. Everyone's like, The Rock Johnson? And they're like, nah, Stevens. They're like, oh, fuck that kid.
Yeah.
He's such a disappointment.
Yeah. It's just, I mean, naming your kid Dwayne is like, automatically you're setting a sort of bar for them.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
It's like...
Yeah. It's impossible.
Your name sounds like the start of a country song. I mean...
It does. A country song that... Man, The Rock can really do anything.
He really can.
You know? Like I'm just thinking, like, if he wanted to be a country singer tomorrow, he could do it.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, he could actually do it.
He could do it.
No, yeah. It's not like Bruce Willis becoming a country star.
No. I remember one of my friends, it was like years ago. It's like, yeah, one of my friends the other day was like, do you think The Rock takes steroids? And he was like laughing. He was like, why wouldn't he take steroids? Like, give me a reason that like the Rock could not benefit from taking steroids in his life, in his career. Oh, is he going to get paid less if he takes steroids? Or more steroids? I don't know. He's not. So.
No.
Anyway.
No. He,
No.
No.
Anyway, Grenache is delicious. All right, so it's, I guess to piggyback on what you were saying, yeah, there's a lot of Grenache that is sort of simple and just delicious, and I think a lot of that stuff, like the best expression of that form, is Grenache from Sardinia, and there they call it Cannonau, Cannanou or something.
It's like a place from the Bible, Canaan.
Yeah.
Cannonau.
Yeah, exactly like that. Cannonau. Nope. Cannonau.
Cannonau.
Cannonau. Yeah. See? I told you to spell it.
No.
It's delicious. And so there it's like super juicy, like tannic. It tastes like, I don't know, I'm totally making this up. It tastes like they do it all in like cement or something, because like the tannins feel very like raw, you know. So Yeah, it's like if you did it in cement or some vessel other than oak or whatever to take a lot of the tannins out. So it's like super juicy and like crunchy and that kind of stuff.
Nice.
Crunchy and tannins, so it's like chewy or crunchy. We gotta have a whole episode where we talk about what's like a chewy tannin, what's a crunchy tannin. It's not like a firm definition, but it's like it reminds you of like biting into like a crunchy fruit or some shit like that. I don't know. But just a different texture in the wine stuff.
Yeah.
But
it's like differences in how much you steep your tea.
Yeah. That's a good point. But then then there's the other side where I think Grenache can really be super sophisticated and elegant and beautiful. You haven't had any like the Chateau Rias wines. I mean, I haven't had any of like the Rias ones, but I've had like the Domaine de Tour and Chateau de Tour and stuff. Mm-hmm. And I got to get you some of those because it's like they're so beautiful and elegant, and you're like, oh, this is what I didn't know Grenache could be this.
Yeah.
You know, and I know like the Domaine de Tour, the total like entry level one, it's a blend of a bunch of different stuff, but it's really cool. It's got this like, and I've had like the Côte d'Aron, and I haven't had the Vacras. I have a bottle of the Vacras, but I haven't tried it yet. Mm-hmm. Let it age a little longer. But they all have this really cool like gamey character, but also like I think like really well expressed. Grenache does have that gamey and like thyme and like crushed fruit and crushed flowers. This is a very much like a dried flower, like potpourri kind of, like not the same odor, but that same type of
cacophony of expressions as well. It's like it's very I want to say like jubilant's the wrong word because it's tonally different than that, but it's very what's the it's like syncopated. That's a weird description, but like it just it catches you a lot. Like there are a lot of edges to it that you interact with.
Oh, I could see that. The way I was thinking more of it, it's like the bouquet is very. I mean, it smells like a bouquet. Normally, I loathe when people describe the bouquet of a wine, but that does smell like it's a bouquet. It's really elegant. It's really fragile almost.
It's like the complication of
assertive
of a very diverse compost pile before it's actually started to rot. You know, like if you have like if you had like all the right, because that's what potpourri is. It's just like all the right things about to rot together, like just at this point of ripeness that you won't be able to do anything with it. You know. Yeah. You won't even like that sense of you won't even be able to use every part of that. You'll be able to pick one thing from it and use it before everything else rots, but everything else is about to rot. Like that. There's that extreme experience of ripeness in it. It's really, really cool.
Right. Actually, I'm really glad that Rachel gave me that thin mint because I don't think it's just psychological, but you know, sometimes if you like smell something, like you smell like a bunch of thyme or something, and then you smell a wine, like, oh wow, the thyme's way more pronounced. The mint in this is way more pronounced, and it's really cool because it does have like, oh man, I really love Chef. Like if Chateau de Pop didn't cost like $45, for like an inexpensive one, if Chateau de Pop was like $20. Oh, I'd be drinking that like every day. It'd be disgusting.
I love Chateau de Pop. It's
so good. Yeah. But like this wine, and the reviews are right. They're like this drink's like, I think they said like with the structure it like mops the floor with most Chateauneufs or something. It's like it is big and but it doesn't taste like it. You know, in terms of like
it's not
full body,
clunky.
but it has. No, not at all. It's refined. It's super zippy. It's really high acid, but you can tell the alcohol is like kind of high, not like super high, but kind of high. And the tannins are there. It's nothing like young Nebbiolo or something, but it's like they're like well distributed throughout your mouth, and it has the right combination of acid where you salivate the same amount that your mouth is being dried by the tannin, so it really is really well balanced and evens out. And then you're like, oh man, this is super delicious, and it's juicy, and it's herbaceous, and it's floral, and it's minty. It's so good. And I'm like, what the alcohol? 15%. I'm like, holy shit, yeah, like, this is a really well-made wine.
Gotcha.
And so people talk about balance, like, oh, high alcohol, does that mean it can't be balanced? It's like, no, it's just, does it have the acid and the other structure to be able to, like, account for and justify that alcohol level, I guess.
Yeah.
So I think this wine's delicious. I'm gonna get a couple more bottles of this actually. It was really good. It was less than $20.
Yeah.
And it's fucking delicious. Like if you gave me the glass, I'd say like how much does this cost? I'd be like, I don't know, like 45. It tastes like a Chateauneuf.
No, mine was 22, and nice. I would be happy to age it for like 10 years, or and just see what happened to it. But also like in terms of like a really rich meal that you'd probably be pairing with this anyways.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Yeah, I would put this up against. I mean, I've never really drunk that many Chateauneufs this young, so I don't know if there are probably a couple that this is unfair to, but like of the ones I've had, this could totally go and contend with it. The difference is just in price. Yeah.
Right.
As far as I can tell.
Yeah. Oh man, I love doing like Chateauneuf or Grenache, I guess GSM brands, Coquelin blend with duck.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like that's like perfect.
Yeah.
Like it's one of those things where it's like if it isn't broken, don't fucking fix it. Like if I have a really good steak and I have a nice bottle of Napa Caviar, like I'm gonna fucking drink it. I'm not gonna be like, oh, how does what about this Pinot from Champagne? Like maybe it's well structured. Like no, like it's just this just goes well, and it's like yeah, of course there's room to be like adventurous and stuff, but at the same time, if you just want it, just do it.
Yeah, no, it's just all about the mood you're in. But there are certain I think that there are wines that suggest certain dishes more than there are dishes that suggest certain wines to me.
I can see that.
I think I would say it that way. Because
absolutely.
I think I hold wine more accountable on that spectrum.
Yeah, I've started to think about it instead of being like, oh, what wine would I pair with this dish? It's like, no, what do I want to eat with this?
Yeah.
And it's kind of a big it's a big difference when you start thinking about it. Yeah,
it's weird, but it is like it's a but it's a thing that I think is especially if you're spending it's the problem with Napa Cab is if you're spending that kind of money on a bottle of wine, you want to have something that will accentuate it.
Right. Well, I mean, but some of those are I remember asking my friend Luis. He's a sommelier. He's he knows his shit, and I'm like, man, knowing my palate, whatever, which one did you recommend? He's like, oh, I think you'd really probably like the Corson, and you'd like La Colla, and you'd like, I started mentioning all those ones. And I'm like, cool, they're all at least $150.
Yeah.
It's hey, if you want to give me a bottle, that would be great.
Yeah.
But speaking of which, all right, now we'll talk about that. We'll talk about the song. Maybe.
Well, yeah, but I think that's at its core a good point you make. That's when you're thinking about a wine like that, if you're gonna be spending that much money on a bottle of wine, you kind of want to pair the meal to it at that point.
Exactly. Exactly. Totally. But there is something nice also about just being hey, I have this delicious bottle, and especially if it's age on it or it's not huge or something.
Yeah.
And it can be consumed by itself to just be all right, let's just drink this and hang out.
Yeah. I think
which I like a
there's
lot.
This really cool I think there's this really great recurrence effect that happens where a wine there's wine that you drink just to get drunk, and then there's wine that you drink and you're oh, I really want to have this with certain meals.
Yeah.
And then there's wine that you're oh, I could have this by itself.
Yeah.
And then there's wine past that which is oh, I could have this by itself, but I want to have it with something else because this will anchor my experience of basically any flavor I have tonight in my head, going along with this wine.
Yeah.
I can use this as a template to hold on to this memory, so I want to have something really exceptional with it.
Yeah. See, okay, so here's the different thing. I I don't know if it's I don't know the reasoning behind it. I think I might, but I don't view like you were saying. Oh, there's just some things you drink wine. You drink just to get drunk.
Yeah.
Like I'd rather just drink like if I'm gonna drink something to get drunk, it's obviously I want to be something that tastes good, but it's gonna be like a mixed drink. It's gonna be like a cocktail.
Oh, for sure.
You know.
Yeah.
But because I don't know, I think it's just like wine is something so special to me that it's like if I wouldn't want to make something ever, and someone would be like, "Yeah, no, I got fucked up on that. It was great," you know?
Yeah, no,
it'd be so hard.
All of those, like, I think are very much descriptions of like the intention going in. Like, they're not just descriptions of like your experience drinking the wine, but I think they also correlate with the intention being made when the wine is made. Like, I think people basically, when they make wine, determine where they want it to exist in that realm or in those realms, and that's why, like, I think most people who are really serious about making wine are aiming at that. Like, you can drink it by itself and enjoy it.
Oh yeah.
And then it's like that. Beyond that is this really special thing. Like I think there's a lot of wine out there that I think there's a big difference functionally in how wine that is meant to just be consumed with food. Like consumed and valued, but just consumed is separate from wine that's meant to be like thought on, and those all exist.
Like savor.
Yeah, and those all exist in basically the same price point. Like I don't think there's a difference there, but I think there is a very very clear like market of wine out there that's like no, this is a vehicle for being drunk, and like if you are interested in it as wine and like you get into wine through it, great, like that's awesome, but like that's a leap that you make after at some point, being tired of just drinking to get drunk. Right.
Yeah. But yeah, so I think Grenache is in that interesting sort of in between you're talking about where it can either be because there's a ton of bottles where I'd sold to people and also just personally enjoy where it's like this is and have described as chuggable.
Oh yeah,
because they're just delicious. It's like at the right amount of acid, the right amount of tannin, and it's the right amount of like complexity where it's like it's delicious. And after 3 glasses of it or something, there's still something to get out of it. Yeah, so, it's not like if you just drink 3 fucking glasses of apple juice in a row. Like I know what to expect. This is getting old. Yeah, but at least with something like this or something like a really juicy, delicious Grenache, it's exciting.
Yeah. Something that's so cool about Grenache, and part of why I like it so much is that it's just such a workhorse in that sense. Like it is, the way that apple juice is the backbone for like any fruit juice concentrate or whatever other juice is the base, because it's either like apple or pear or grape juice is like the backbone of whatever it is. Yeah. Grenache is like that in the wine world where like we're really not like we could have both gone out and found like completely Grenache wines. But the point of Grenache that's so cool to me is that it just is this like, it is this workhorse. Like it is the core of like a team of different flavor expressions and profile expressions that you get out of all these different, varietals. It's one of the reasons that I like.
It's just so good.
Yeah, man. No, it's one of the reasons that I like. Grenache is cool to me because it's an inherently holistic grape, because when you can grow that, then you can define your winemaking by what other grapes you're growing around it. So you're not just if you're doing like some sort of vineyard designate or Hermitage style thing, and that's mostly Syrah, but like I think it might just be Syrah. But like in a Grenache situation, your winemaking it's not like the way that people make varietal wines like Pinot Noir or Chardonnay or even Cab Sauv. It's about like you're making Grenache and then you're using these other wines that you're making along with your Grenache or even co-fermented with your Grenache to balance that like that entity into a really complete wine. Right. So it's just a different it's a different type of because that I don't know how much field blending happens. Like I'm sure there are some places that do it and some places that don't. It's its whole thing. But it means that you're not just having to wine make in the cellar, but you're also having to do some of it out in the vineyard where you're like you're tending different types of vines that are going to grow differently throughout the season with the wine style that you're going to make out of all of it in mind.
Right. You know how I forget the name of the winemaker that you worked for in New Zealand, Escarpment.
Escarpment, yeah.
Yeah, how he was like, if I could grow anything, it'd be like Nebbiolo.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
I think if I could grow,
Larry, that was the guy I actually worked directly under.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think I don't know, dude. I feel like Pinot Chard are definitely those have this sort of like nobility in my mind.
Yeah.
But just fucking Grenache is so good.
Yeah.
That I feel like something that a lot of New World producers get wrong with Grenache. Like a lot of people in Washington are making like pretty good Grenache, and like Roti.
Yeah.
Have you had their wines? I love Roti's wines.
I've not, but I can guess from their name what they're kind of doing.
Yeah, exactly. ROTIE, and they make a really good Tannat too, actually. But I feel like people here take, and this is gonna sound bad, but they take it too seriously.
Yeah, no, 100%.
And they treat it like it's this aristocratic thing, and it's like, no, if you have the large majority of Grenache that's out there, it's just fucking delicious. Just drink it.
Yeah.
You don't have to contemplate it and extract the fuck out of it and treat it like it's the most important fucking thing in the world. It's just delicious shit to drink. And I would actually, no, I take it back before. I would rather make stuff that people were like kind of you're talking about with the Rudolfo. Where people are like, hey, yeah, that's delicious.
Yeah.
I'd rather either have that. I'd rather have that than make some sort of shit that's like, I don't know, like $200 a bottle that only like people at 11 Madison Park can order.
Yeah.
And then have people be like, nobody actually gives a shit about the wine. They're there because it's a business meeting and it's, everybody's trying to impress each other and they're pouring Diet Coke in it to make it taste better.
But the problem is that wine is much, much easier to make a solvent business out of. Like it's much easier to make that seller happen than it is to make wine that's affordable for everyone to drink and it's just really good, unless you happen to be in one of the regions of the world where, like, it's one of the things that makes the Rhone Valley kind of cool is like they have all of this land, and this is like the historical idea of winemaking is like you use the land that you can't use for other agriculture. And then you fill it with vines, and whatever vines work there best is the kind of wine you make. And the problem with like this varietal forward like winemaking philosophy where you're like, no, I want to grow Pinot Noir, so you take Pinot Noir and you make it happen on a hillside. It's like, fine, you're gonna be the kind of person who talks to me way too much about clonal selections because you're really, really interested in making Pinot happen here. And one of the things that is great about old world wine regions is that this before there was this there was this it's like nationalism, like in the positive sense, like it's like this own ground kind of pride where you're like, no, we grow this well, we're not going to try to do what other people do, we do what we do well because it's what grows here. And it's not as problematic as nationalism because it's tied to the physical climactic fact of what plant actually does succeed in growing there. And this is one of the, it's like we just can't, I mean, so many of the places where you would grow Grenache in the United States, I guess, have been used historically for probably like ranching, I would assume.
Dry. Pretty hot.
Hill country, sparse vegetation.
Hill country,
We also just don't. Yeah, I don't know. But then there's also this, like I don't know where I don't know where you would grow. Well, I know some of the places that you would grow like Grenache and Syrah and stuff in the U.S. Like Washington's a great example, but yeah, people take it way too seriously. It's not like, oh no, we're growing Grenache so that we can get fucking, I don't know, 5 tons to the acre, not worry about it too much, not overthink it. Ferment that shit, make wine that's just like our base for other wine, and then we really worry about how we make our Syrah and our Mourvedre, and then we take that and we design a wine out of all of it,
I assume we both moved to Texas and just planned a bunch of GSM shit.
I mean, that's literally what the Texas wine industry is like. That's the people who are doing the best job down there. That's what they're doing.
I thought they were doing like Tempranillo.
Oh no, you're right.
GSM
Yeah,
too?
I guess you're right. Yeah, they're growing like, no, but I mean they're growing like big amounts of these like friendly varietals that are
right
friendly to the ground that they're growing them in. But they're doing like a lot.
Right.
At least is my understanding. Like, they're just making a lot of these things.
Yeah, I want to go down there and try some of that stuff. I wonder if they're weird, like there's like Pennsylvania where you can't really find the stuff out of the state. Same sort of stuff with Texas. I'm sure there's a bunch of wineries.
No, there are. They're my first vintage. I was living with a guy who was from Texas, and he'd been working in the wine industry.
All right. Yeah. Oh man.
The guy who just got out of jail one night.
With the guy who FaceTimed you from the hospital?
Yeah.
That's what I was laughing at, that particular story. Yep. But, I mean, that's the kind of place where, like, it would be sweet to be, like, a wine club member, you know?
Yeah.
Where you just get, like, a case of wine for, like, I don't know, fucking next to nothing. And it's just, like, delicious shit to drink.
Yeah.
And,
that's how, like...
it just doesn't really matter.
That's what I've heard about, like, Idaho Tempranillo. I want to go to Idaho.
Yeah, I've heard a bunch about Idaho. Yeah.
Yeah. No, they grow in Oregon. They grow Grenache down in the like Rogue River, and I think some up in the Columbia River Gorge. But
yeah.
They also do Syrah up there. But yeah,
there's an AVA that overlaps. Was it Rattlesnake?
Oh, it might be.
Or no, it was Applegate. Fuck, there's one of those. Again, hypothetically speaking, somebody would have known those things. I think it's something like it's either Rattlesnake or. I think it's Rattlesnake. Rattlesnake AVA. But yeah, I mean, I've heard a bunch of shit about Idaho.
Snake River Valley.
I've never been there. I heard it's beautiful. But, I mean, you're right there. You should go. I mean, not right now.
Tom?
But yeah, I think, Rattlesnake Hills AVA.
Tom?
Is the particular wine region that...
you just cut out on me for a second.
Oh, no.
So Snake River Valley.
Snake River, that's what the fuck it is.
Yeah, that's out in eastern Oregon.
Washington.
It's on,
Yeah.
Yep.
And what are they growing there mostly?
Good question. Let's look it up. Time to look it up.
Yeah, I'm looking on Wikipedia. It doesn't say. Let's see.
Cabernet Sauvignon, Chardonnay, Viognier, Riesling, and Syrah.
Come on, man. You gotta branch out.
Yeah. I'm sure there's some Tempranillo out there, though.
Yeah. I mean, anywhere that grows, like, Cab and Sauv Blanc, I'm like, come on. Just no, man.
I don't think they're growing. They're just growing Cabernet Sauvignon. I don't think they're doing Sauv Blanc.
Oh, they're doing Sauv Blanc.
Nah.
At least a Cabernet Sauv Blanc. Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Like
I might
Napa
have said
Sauv
that.
Blanc.
Oh.
Napa Sauv Blanc. I've never had one where I'm like, fuck, this is really good.
Yeah. It's just like sort of chalky and washed out. Like
and like
bell
way
peppery.
too ripe, or some places. The Fume Blanc. So anybody puts oak on it, it's like just no.
Yeah.
No,
you want there to be like acid, like a maniac in Sauv Blanc.
Totally. But at the same time, like Dagenau uses oak. I mean, I don't think it's new.
No, they use oak, but I would be very surprised if they weren't picking pretty early and like,
Oh, I'm sure.
Very lean, very acidic.
Oh man, I want to try those wines so bad. Yeah. Fuck, gonna have to wait. But
that's why people need to listen to this so we can become rich and buy irresponsible wines.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, I may or may not have already bought irresponsible wines.
Ooh, my God.
No, I didn't buy the Salon.
Oh, damn it.
I didn't buy the Salon.
Yeah.
I'm talking about Dagenau.
Oh, there's... good God. So, of the... sorry. This makes no sense whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
Someone's like fucking math is just trash. So in the Snake River Valley, Cabernet Sauvignon accounts for 36.19% of the acreage. But that's not right, because like the rest of it all amounts to less than maybe 25%. Like some part of the math on this website is just wrong. Oh, nice. No, sorry, I did not see the right thing. Their pie chart is the thing that's messed up. My bad. Known varietals, Cabernet Sauvignon accounts for 36%. Then Chardonnay accounts for basically 7%, Viognier for 2%, Riesling for almost 2%, and then Syrah. Unknown plantings accounts for 51%.
Nice.
Yeah. Grenache accounts for 0%, and there are 0.0 acres of it.
Nice.
But it is listed.
We don't know what any of this shit is, but it sure as fuck is not Grenache, so.
Or any of these other wines. It's actually all Pinot Noir.
Yeah, they're making amazing Pinot Noir.
No idea they're doing it, but, you know. No. Interesting.
Yeah. So I've had a couple. I've had a couple knurled Grenaches. One's from. I don't think I've had any from. Maybe I've had like one or two from California that were not remarkable. Literally, like I cannot remark on them because I don't remember them.
Nice.
And haven't had any from Oregon, but a couple from Washington I did like.
Yeah.
One of which was from Roti.
I've had a couple good Oregon Grenaches, honestly. Like,
oh, really?
Yeah. Domingo Forest Grenache, I think, is actually quite good. Yeah.
Well, I don't think I tried it when I was there.
No, it's a very solid wine. I think they do a Tempranillo Syrah and I think Grenache blend. I think.
Well, I tried this at the. Yeah, I remember trying that Tempranillo.
Yeah, they do a lot of Tempranillo. Like their Tempranillos. And Tempranillo and Grenache going together is important to Rioja, which we will probably cover at some point. So
nice.
Just a fun preview there. Foreshadowing.
Preview. Yeah. Foreshadowing. Man, I'm really good at the mixing in this. You know, like all the echo effect. Yeah. It's like if I didn't press it,
foreshadow.
That's
foreshadow.
So good. Yeah. Foreshadow. Yeah. But I mean, I've had a bunch of newer ones, but honestly, like nothing really has really compared to the stuff that I've had from the old world. Not saying it can't be done, but it's just, first of all, I mean, you can't find one that's less than like $30, which is insane.
No, yeah.
And because it is the kind of thing where it's like, yeah, I get 5 tons per acre, and just make it delicious.
Well, it's funny because
like it doesn't.
Yeah.
It's not pretentious. Co-ferment it with a bunch of shit if you want. Like I feel like it's the kind of thing where it's like, yeah, we just planted a bunch of shit and we harvest however much we want. We just we put it in the fucking thing, and then we ferment it, and then it's done. We put it in a barrel for a year, and then we take it out and put it in the bottle, and it's like magically delicious.
Yeah.
You know.
Well,
it's like the kind of person or the kind of like cook who's just like I don't know how I do it. I just do it. You know, like how long do you cook it for? I don't know until it's done. You know, like sure, thanks. That really helps.
Yeah. It's like talking to someone about music and they have perfect pitch, and you're just like,
oh yeah. I'm like, yep.
I don't know how to.
Yep.
You're just better at this than me.
Yeah.
I think people. The other main thing is that like presiding wisdom about growing Grenache is not something I'm aware of in the States. Like people just don't spend time, studying how to grow it. That I know of, and I don't know the people who are growing it.
Yeah.
Because none of them are growing it around here. So part of the problem is, I don't think there's as much interest in it. There's not as much funding put into figuring out how to grow it in the New World. And then there's not, because you need research for all that stuff. Like you need dollars being paid to scientists to study it. And then the other part of it is like, so many people who are making it are contracting out from farms, so they're not really involved in the farming at all, which I think, again, circles back to not all that much research gets done, or not all that much, winemaker-driven infrastructure on the vineyard side happens. Like, people who farm and grow their own, farm their own ground and then make their own wine are rare enough, but then people who, people who make wine consistently and closely with a vineyard long enough end up, wanting to be involved in it or wanting to know about it and caring a lot about it. And if you're too many miles away, you're just not going to go to that vineyard. You're not going to have a relationship with the vineyard manager. You're not going to,
right.
You're not going to be checking in on, on the stuff that you care about. And, and, then it just becomes farming, and your relationship isn't really more complicated than that of like a supermarket, as opposed to like, the chef analogy. If you're a chef who's doing a really, really like high quality thing, you really, really care where your raw materials are coming from. You have very close connections with either your distributors or hopefully the person who's actually, directly supplying it. So the same kind of thing can happen with wine, I think, especially with varietals like that in regions like this. Like, I think it's different up in Washington, but certainly in Oregon.
Yeah.
And then the places that are doing a really good job of it and growing it themselves and know a lot about it, their tasting rooms are impossible to find. And, we haven't tried their wines because they're just not, they're not the ones that we're going to buy off the shelf because of, like...
Right.
Because of the generalization I just made.
Yeah. Perfect. Yeah. No, dude, this is... what was... I don't remember. What was the producer of your wine?
Chateau de Montfaucon. Montfaucon. It's their Baron Louis 2014.
Baron Louis 2014. Nice, here we go. Stylish with a perfumed mix of raspberry, cassis, bergamot. What the fuck kind of tea is that? I don't know. Ooh, we got to do a whole episode about wine critics.
Wine description. Well, we got to get this Instagram up and running. I'll work on that.
Got to get that Gren going. That's gonna be so good. That's really exciting. I was honestly thinking about that being like stunning, and then give it like a 6 out of 10. Or like, no. My favorite is like perfection, and they give it 97 points. Like, you know what perfection means, right? Yeah. Just want to clarify here.
And then right next to it, something who's like, it was pretty good, 98.
Yeah.
What?
Oh man.
Yeah.
Yep.
I need to start gramming. I need to get good at these things.
That's grammar. Are you still doing those illustrations?
I haven't been. I got spurred towards it a little bit the other night. I wanted. You mean the like little comic things I was doing on my Instagram?
Yeah. Before I deleted mine, I had seen you had done a couple of those. Were pretty fun.
I stopped. I just fell off the wagon with it. But the other night I followed this cartoonist that there's this person I follow on Instagram, and I like her art a lot. She goes by Hyena Hall. And then a fellow that she's done collaborations with, whose name, I think his name is Josh Byer. It's escaping me at the moment, but he's like a cartoon, like he's like a freelance cartoonist who does like cool art. And I followed him, and then he followed me back and like liked 3 of my pictures, and I was like, oh shit, this person who like I actually think of as like a person who does this, took a moment to look at a thing I made. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Which, never feel with wine. Like, honestly.
Yeah.
I've never had that moment of just like, oh, I'm so touched. Yeah, Josh Bayer.
Nice. Yeah. Dude, this wine is so fucking good. I just keep...
No, dude, I'm loving this bottle that I'm drinking. I'm just kind of cruising through it, honestly. Probably going to have a headache in the morning, but...
Oh, yeah. No, I definitely want to get a couple bottles of this. I mean, at least 2. And then just put them away. And open one in like 5 years and open one in like 10. Because the kind of thing is, if it's like, I don't know, what, $17 or something? It's like, all right, just assume it's a loss. Assume that you open it in 15 years and it's going to be garbage. Yeah. But then, when you open in 15 years and it's glorious, you're like, oh my god, this is so worth it.
Huzzah!
Yeah. Huzzah.
Oh man, I like.
Yeah.
I just like this kind of wine so much. Like, it's so unpretentious. Yeah. It's just good. And it's...
What is that in the background?
That is a dog drinking water.
Nice. Anyway,
she just got embarrassed.
It's unpretentious. Nice.
Yeah.
I don't mean to shame her.
She was just like, oh, what's he laughing at? Oh, he's laughing at me. Oh, that son of a bitch.
That son of a bitch.
Yeah, no, it's just not. It's not trying to not be. Like, that's what's so cool about Grenache. It is the core. It is the. When it's not the majority, it's the plurality of a core of a wine. Like, there's stuff else to it that you need and that elevates it, but it is just this chassis on which, this really beautiful car is built, or wherever we're talking about, however we're taking this journey. It's just part of it, and it makes me happy.
Referring to Grenache as a chassis is pretty fantastic.
Yeah.
Because it makes a lot of sense. And
we call Grenache the chassis, Syrah the suspension. We call Mourvedre the engine.
Yep.
Vroom vroom, bucko.
Vroom vroom. Dude, I'm just looking online. Like, Cellar Tracker can be a pretty useful site. But then sometimes you get a review like this. Like, T. Ward wrote, I tried this over several nights over a couple of weeks, and it never really worked out. Simple and fruity / grapey. Not bad, good enough.
Wait.
I quickly skimmed over TNs and saw a mention of Cassoulet. I'll bet that's a good call. I can see some potential here to take on some tertiary notes in a couple of years. If things go well, it could get somewhere nice, but I wouldn't bet on it. For now, a good, if simple, fruit-driven wine.
I love it when you hear someone say, I don't understand what this is about. I don't enjoy stuff.
Yeah. I tried this over several nights over a couple of weeks. What are you talking about? Is it the same bottle? If it's 3 weeks old, of course it's not going to be as good as when you opened it.
I want him to be saying, like, I opened 14 bottles of this wine and I was disappointed time and time and time again.
And time again. I mean, it only got an 82.
Here I got one. Northcraft wrote, bland, disappointing, may need additional time to open up, good fruit-forward nose, but too tight, so it doesn't add to overall flavor. It's like...
Oh, is this yours?
Yeah.
Nice.
Clean with some freshness and a touch of minerality and a little bit of a longer finish.
Nice. Okay, so that one I just read, right?
Yeah.
The disappointing one, 82 points. This one, 80 points, right? Great nose, medium bodied, had it with Cassoulet.
Oh.
That sounds like a great review.
Yeah.
Why is that worse than the one before? T. Ward,
I don't know. Because everything is arbitrary.
You know what's weird? Certain ones, I think good Grenache.
Oh, God. Wait, can I give you one?
I was going to say one particular note, but I'll wait till you're done.
Oh, so 89 points. Pichaug likes this wine. Needs to breathe, preferably at least a couple of hours to show its worth.
As if that wine is just its servant.
Yeah. It's a $22 bottle of wine.
Oh my
if I don't
God,
taste $22, really I will remand you to time out for 2 hours.
Yeah, I just imagine taking you back to the store and being like, taste this wine, and you're like, okay, and then like, open your mouth, hold out your tongue, and he just puts $22 in the person's mouth. Like, does that taste like $22 to you?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. No, but what I was gonna say is, this wine, I think it happens with Grenache, is like, did you ever, I mean, I know you did, but when you were younger, you just have like a fruit popsicle or something? Mm-hmm. And you know the flavor of, like, the popsicle stick? Yeah. After you're done. Whenever, so it's like, if I have a sip of wine or something, and then after, I don't know, even 30 seconds or whatever, after I've taken that sip and I smell it, and I exhale like this, like I close my mouth, exhale out of my nose, then I'll get that sort of smell or taste or whatever. And I love it. I think it's fucking delicious.
Yes. You were just a tiny alcoholic.
I was just I was like, damn, I can't wait to consume alcohol that resembles this in some way.
I want to get back to this level of joy.
Yeah.
I'm a child with a popsicle. Yep. Things aren't going up from here.
When you realize that that like Proust's Madeleines were just always just soaked in like Grand Marnier.
Yeah. Like, oh, I get it now.
I get it now.
I get it now. Fuck yeah, man.
No, but this wine keeps getting that like. It keeps evolving in the sense where now it's got this like. I don't want to say like smoked meatiness because.
Smeatiness.
I mean, there's a smeatiness. It's got that smegma meatiness.
Yeah. I mean, that's definitely something that like older Chateauneuf de Pape will like. They get that weird.
Yeah.
You know, that weird meaty like aged meat like.
It sounds weird, okay, but imagine a piece of smoked meat, right? Like, like you go to like I don't know,
like a wet market,
Memphis, yeah. Now imagine a good smoked meat, right?
Right.
Just delicious, right? But then there's a woman wearing old lady perfume.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like 50 yards away. Yep. So you can just smell a little bit of it. That's this, and it smells very good.
Yeah.
So somehow that combination, you're like, that's.
Oh, it's strange. It's a very pheromonal set of smells. Like it feels very like. It feels like you're smelling. Like it's one of the things I like about Chateauneuf de Pape is it smells like you're smelling sweaty people. Like.
Yeah, and there is this very like hedonistic.
Yeah, it's just got the
sort of delicious and pleasurable experience about it.
Yeah,
even if it's subconscious.
Yeah, no,
but no, Grenache is it's up there. I mean, I would say it's easily the most fun grape for me, at least.
I think I can get on board with that statement.
It's so fun.
Yeah, no, it's because I love Grenache for how, in addition to all of the other things we've been saying about how much we love Grenache, I love like so many wine regions. It's the core of the wine regions exist because of this grape. And we're drinking one very specific expression of it. We should definitely do Rioja soon and talk about that because that's a very different expression of it. That's much more like fruity. Yeah. Like the like floral like color tones that come along with Rioja are very different than Côte d'Rône. Like
you could do that, and I could do a Priorat because that's like also Spain, also Grenache, but very
let's do it.
Very different. Priorat's like super scorched earth, like just huge. Like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah. Because it can do that too. Like, because Tempranillo is
it's really versatile.
Like Rioja with Tempranillo being involved in stuff, it's like a midpoint between I would say Côte d'Rône and something like that. Like Côte d'Rône is more lean, relatively more. Because it's like mine's a good example because it has fucking Cinsault and Carignan in it. Sure. As Cinsault at least is not that heavy.
I love Cinsault.
Yeah. I haven't drunk much Carignan, I think, by itself, but I've had a couple Cinsauts, and they're really good.
Oh, I love Carignan too.